some of us lost our RAM minds about this new Chancellor house. Like, yeah, it was, you guys saw the commentary?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I saw it, but what frustrated me, I'll let you explain to the folks that are new to the conversation exactly what, then I'll let you know what frustrated me about it.
Bet. That's a bet for sure. Let's see. So I have the actual article, right? Because I think that's where a lot of this came from. I think a lot of the reaction came from misinformation or lack of information. I'm a journalist, so I'm always gonna be a proponent of reading the article. Now, I know everybody ain't always trying to pay the $5, but journalists got to eat too. So, we got paywalls. They're a real thing. So yeah, we are going to go to the Winston-Salem Journal article, and then we'll let folks chime in. If you're in the chat, let us know what you guys think as well. This was a hot topic this week. So I'm just going to read straight from it. So the Winston-Salem State University Foundation has purchased a Northwestern Winston-Salem home for its new chancellor, paying $1.4 million for the more than 5,000 square foot home, according to Forsyth County real estate records. They didn't put a period right there. Anyway, I'm sorry. The foundation brought a 5,380 square foot home at 3751 Coral Lane Drive, so we know where to pull up, on Wednesday, according to the property's deeds at the Forsyth County Register of Deeds. Chancellor Benita Brown, the first woman to lead WSSU in a permanent capacity, will live in the house. The purchase was discussed during a meeting during the WSSU Board of Trustees on Tuesday. That's where my first point of problem was there, but we'll get there. You can never find a Board of Trustees link. Hopefully that's going to change, but we'll go on. The house sits on 2.95 acres and has 4 bedrooms, 5 full bathrooms, and 2 half baths, according to a tax record in Zillow, a real estate company. The house is in the Greenbrier Farm neighborhood off Chatelain Drive and has a tax value of $1.32 million. The deed lists the WSSU Foundation as the property's grantee or owner. Wesley, and I don't want to mispronounce his name because we might need his money. He's in charge over there. Wesley and his wife, Amber, are listed as the property sellers, according to the deed. Haley Jingles, WSSU's Chief Marketing Communications Officer, shout out to Haley, confirmed late Thursday that the WSSU Foundation had bought the house. The current chancellor's home was purchased by the state for $562,500 in June 1996. That house on Marshall Road, blah, blah, blah. Marshall Road was built in 1992. It has about 3,300 square feet of space and a tax value of $600,480, nearly $650,000, according to a Forsyth County tax record. The house has a market value of $890,400, according to Zillow. The UNC Board of Governors requires, and this is something I think a lot of people miss because they couldn't get this far in the article, that the chancellors of the UNC school systems and the UNC system schools to live in the office and the official chancellor's residences. The new home for the chancellor is indeed because the university now has different needs than when the March-April home was initially purchased, Jingle said. The design of the home is no longer conducive to the university's current needs. Lisa McClinton, the WSSU's Vice Chancellor for Finance and Administration, discussed the pending purchase of the home with the WSSU Board of Trustees at its online meeting Tuesday. The new house will be owned by the foundation, not the state. I don't know if that was supposed to be the state, but we can go on. Kathleen Kelly, chairwoman for WSSU Board of Trustees, said the board approved the university's request to sell the Marble Arch house. The trustees also approved the resolution to authorize the WSSU Foundation to conduct due diligence and select the primary residence for the chancellor. The foundation is handling the sale of the current house and will turn that money over to state officials. It had $995 million in assets in January 2023, according to a WSSU news release. The foundation used money from its operations budget, not from from its operations budget to buy the house, McClinton said. WSSU will maintain the new house, which was built in 2005, McClinton said. During the discussion about the purchase of the chancellor's home, several trustees said it's important that trustees have a consistent message about the purchase in light of recent job cuts at WSSU. The home purchase came weeks after WSSU eliminated 55 of the school's 789 full-time jobs for the 2024 academic year. The university's student enrollment dropped 4.5% in fall 2023, leading to the cuts. Students, faculty, staff, and city residents may question the purchase of a new home for the chancellor in wake of job cuts at the university, some trustees said. That was written by Mr. John Hinton, a mentee of mine. So, a mentor of mine. So, we have actually read the articles. I do pay the $5 there, so y'all won't have to.
Thank you. That's the first thing that pissed me off, man. I'm gonna let you know that right now. That's the first thing that had me tight. That stupid paywall on the Winston-Salem Journal. There's been a couple times where John Dale will post something and I'll go over there and try to look and I can't get through and I'll try to screenshot it real fast so I can go back to it and scroll up and screenshot real fast, but that don't be working effectively. Then I saw in the comments of somebody's post that somebody had went and copied the whole article and put it in the comment section on somebody's post. So I had saw it there. Yeah.
The consumer in me understands it. The journalist that wants to get paid in me hates it, but hey, yeah. It wasn't me. I paid the $5.
I did. Yep.
So, Amber, your thoughts on this? Obviously, a lot of people felt some type of way.
Yeah, I think the big thing here that I think is really important is understanding how state funded institutions operate in general. Unrestricted funds, restricted funds, they're separate buckets that they're not pulling from. So no, like you said, no scholarships were lost in this transaction. It's a state required policy, since we are a UNC system school, that the house can be to entertain guests and to promote the school. So I see nothing wrong with it. I feel like the article did kind of give a little shade about, the loss of enrollment and loss of jobs, which have completely two different separate things to do with each other. So I think this one kind of falls on cons from the school. I think Winston-Salem Journal kind of wants to get a story out of it, but I think it's definitely no news here, nothing crazy about the purchase.
No, I second that if it's me. Like I just saw a bunch of people that wanted to have a bunch to say about nothing on social media. That's all that was. What upset me more than the Ramley having a problem with it was the Ramley on the where I found it was on an Aggies page. An Aggie had reposted it, and then you got a bunch of Rams in there. Family/Ramley. Can I just speak to you for a second? Like, please, do not allow them to sucker you into stupidness, okay? They want to see us fall apart. They want to see us all disheveled. Check your sources when you're seeing who's posting this nonsense about the Ramley. You dig? A lot of times it's posted just to create discord amongst us, and y'all bite. Hook, line, and sinker. Right on. Oh, $1.4 million. I'm sure they could have found one for $300,000. And why they don't give me no house when I move? She don't even live in the house. This is where her to go and barter deals so that we can move to the next level, folks. Like the first house we had since 2001, if what I saw was correct. Listen, can we please give our next regime some time? Like already the Ramley is jumping on the head of Chancellor Brown, jumping on the head of Coach Thompson. Like, let these people get their name tags on the door before we start berating them and talking about how much they don't deserve things that every single chancellor gets. Like, it was pretty just obnoxious to me.
Yeah, I agree. And also the information about the student enrollment drop, if you go to the National Alumni Association meetings, they've been talking about it in ways we can better partner with the school as alumni to get those enrollment numbers back up. So that also isn't new information. So
now, what was that about? No, like when they talk about the enrollment numbers falling, like what is that a result of?
So basically, I think over the past 2 years or so, we've seen a decrease in enrollment, which has affected our budget. The UNC system has certain benchmarks that you have to hit: graduation rate, retention rate. It's like a whole equation to determine how you get funding. And if you don't meet those benchmarks, they cut your budget. So that's something that they talked about in the winter board meeting. And so I encourage any alum in the chat, make sure you definitely tap in with your local NAA chapter to definitely get that information.
Yes, and as Alonzo so wisely pointed out, and for the Ramley who think the chancellor with a legal background will do something illegal 2 weeks into the job. Come on, y'all.
And she has no control over that decision anyways.
Right.
It's an independent transaction for that reason. So.
But to my
Right.
to my understanding, this isn't a place where she sleeps and dwells and bathes, correct? Like this is a place where, or will she actually live there?
They live in the house.
Oh, she'll actually live in the
Yeah,
house.
they'll live in the
Okay.
house, but they'll also host events. They'll host important donors. And I was in SGA. We had a few dinners with the Chancellor to meet some of the executive staff. So they are in the house for sure.
So how that work? Does the foundation pay her mortgage or her rent, or does she have to pay that out of her salary? Do you know,
Did they buy it outright? I'm not sure. I feel like they bought it
Dang, that's
outright.
all right. That's a nice little perk. Like, cause my wife, she got a job where they give her a little vehicle and pay her gas allowance, but they ain't no house. Now, house, that's all right.
That's some pastor stuff. That's some church stuff. Oh, you know.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
Show you right. Show you right. Nah, I think it's great points. I think for one thing, I think it comes down to, obviously the Winston-Salem Journal, they're going to do their job. They got their job is to get people talking and see what people care about and all of that stuff. But I do think one thing that has to be done is there needs to be more transparency. Board of Trustee meetings are way too hard to find, period. Like they're supposed to be, from what I understand from the UNC system, listed on the website and everything like that. And a lot of times you have to really hunt for that information. So I actually heard about this on last Monday, and that's because I got the link for the Board of Trustees meeting for Coach Thompson. And so they were talking about it then. I was like, oh, people are going to have something to say about this, but it was only 19 people. It was only 19 people on the Zoom. So I think when the information is not easily accessible for people and they feel like it's hidden, and then it's like, oh, whoa, what is this coming from? And some of the Rams have been through some stuff where they've seen, some chancellors have been in trouble for stuff that they weren't supposed to do. So I understand a little bit some of the seasoned Rams being a little apprehensive about it. But I think for sure, like Alonzo said, I think, we got to definitely educate ourselves. And I think the transparency from the university in this new administration, I'm seeing some signs that that's how they're gonna operate. I think that's going to be very important because I believe the last administration was not as transparent as they needed to be, and thus we ended up in some of the holes that we ended up in. So,
yeah, I agree 100%. I think from my understanding, they're supposed to be open to the public unless they move into a closed session, and then that's when everything kind of goes off the record. But to your point, if you go online, a lot of the meeting minutes or the transcripts from the meetings are missing. So definitely agree to those sentiments for sure.
I just want alumni to understand, like there are some things that, yes, the public is supposed to be privy to, but the university ain't got to come talk to us about everything. Like I saw alumni that was upset that the university didn't talk to them about the coaching hire, and we should be in on those conversations. No, you shouldn't. No, you shouldn't. Like some certain conversations is just for the university to have, and we, the alumni, have to support it and roll with it in spite of. We do not get to make all those decisions. They don't happen at P5s, at PWIs. It's not going to happen at HBCUs. I think sometimes we feel like because we are that family, and I don't think it's just Winston-Salem State. I think it's all HBCUs. Because we have that family vibe, we feel like we're supposed to be in the know on everything. Like we want, and a lot of it comes from a good space of us wanting to assist our university. But we just got to understand, you're not going to be privy to everything, but that should not determine your support of Winston-Salem State University.
Well said. Well said.